honest, it is servant to mankind. Out of control, it is a treacherous enemy. The scene, one of the United Arab Emirates on the Arabian Gulf. Dubai, the pearl of the coast. Native dhows that once ruled these waters now share them with other vehicles. Modern service boats, tankers, and ocean-going tugs, without which Dubai's flourishing petroleum industry could not operate. Oil was discovered in the Gulf off Dubai in 1966. By 1973, production had reached 300,000 barrels per day, using offshore platforms like this one. October 17, 1973. Sedco's Rig 70 was routinely completing another field development well, the Fatah A2. At 8:20 a.m., the well had begun to flow. It was out of control almost instantly. A blowout is a rare event in modern oil fields, but when one happens, all effort turns to restoring conditions to normal. At the first warning of the blowout, most of the men evacuated the platform, using planned emergency procedures. 8 stayed on to try to cap the well. Within 10 minutes, the well caught fire. The platform became a raging inferno. Dubai Petroleum Company and other oil companies operating in the area rushed in firefighting equipment. The immediate objective is preventing spread of the fire to nearby production facilities. And 3 massive undersea storage tanks called Kazans, each with a capacity of 500,000 barrels of oil. Around such facilities, an oil spill now would be especially dangerous. The oil could ignite at any time. The danger is real. The fire is consuming 40,000 barrels of oil and 19 million cubic feet of gas a day, enough to fuel a city the size of St. Louis. Flames leaped 450 feet into the air. The heat was so intense that the deck section of the massive steel platform melted and the drilling rig toppled into the sea. To protect the remaining facilities on adjacent structures, heat shields of corrugated steel are fabricated and put into place. With the fire contained and the other facilities safe, engineers can turn their attention to putting out the fire. From Houston, Red Adair's crack firefighters have been summoned. One technique under consideration is for Adair's team to set off an explosion on the platform. Momentarily, without oxygen, the blaze will die. The procedure has a drawback. After the fire is out, 3 days will be needed to shut off the flow from the well. 3 days during which more than 100,000 barrels of oil will spill into the Gulf. While other techniques for extinguishing the blaze are being evaluated, a barge with heavy-duty Adair pumps and monitors is towed in to give the overworked fireboats a breather. They have been operating around the clock since the fire broke out. The pumps pour 10,000 gallons of water a minute onto the structures. Dubai Petroleum Company weighs the alternatives and reaches a quick conclusion. Drill 2 relief wells to kill the burning well. From neighboring Abu Dhabi come 2 jack-up type drilling rigs, loaned to Dubai Petroleum Company by Abu Dhabi Marine Areas Limited, operated by British Petroleum Company. The rigs are quickly readied. Hunt Oil Company's Penrod 56 is the first to arrive. It spuds a directional relief hole 9 days after the fire erupted. The offshore company Rig 55 spuds the second relief hole 2 weeks later, on November 9th. Both rigs drill as rapidly as possible, 24 hours a day. Accuracy is critical. The holes must be carefully aimed to intersect the A2 well. There is no margin for error. The Penrod rig's target is to intersect the A2 in the Elam Formation at 7,500 feet. The offshore 55 is to intersect it in the Thamama Formation at 8,300 feet. The burning platform contains a producing well, the A1, which has been shut in by subsea safety valves. However, if the A1 should also catch fire, the drilling program prepared for the offshore 55 includes a plan for redirecting the hole to intersect the A1 wellbore instead of the A2. Contingency plans are laid for a quick spill cleanup program. A spill will result if the fire is extinguished, but the well is not completely killed. Equipment and chemicals from around the world are placed at strategic locations. Spill containment booms are spotted around the facilities. Plans are made for coping with the worst possible spill conditions to minimize the likelihood of environmental damage or fire on any oil that is spilled. The drilling progresses. Completion of the relief well to the Elam Formation will come first, but this formation produces only about 10% of the oil feeding the fire. The kill through the Elam Formation is therefore more difficult. It may not work. The Penrod rig intersects the Elam Formation within 5 feet of the burning A2 wellbore. The kill will be attempted even before the offshore 55 reaches the Thamama Formation in a few days. On the Penrod, high-pressure Halliburton pumps are readied and connected into the wellbore. While the drilling was underway, workers on shore had built a mud barge, nicknamed the Big Muddy, carrying 6,000 barrels of heavily weighted drilling mud. If water pressure alone does not kill the well, mud will be used. The barge is brought into place beside the Penrod rig. Everything is ready for the kill. When a relief well reaches its objective in a permeable zone near the burning well, communication is established by fracturing across the formation to the well that is blowing. Initially, water is pumped down the wellbore of the relief well across the formation and into the blowing well. As more and more fluid is pumped down the relief well, the blowing well is loaded from the bottom. The oil flow is eventually stopped. The weight of the fluid acts as a plug. The critical moment is at hand. An army of men is waiting. Pumps have been tested. The mud barge is in readiness. Spill containment booms are deployed. An armada of 31 vessels is in place, each with specific assignments. The process is timed, so the maximum possible amount of daylight will be available for capping operations. Communication has been established between the relief well and the well bore feeding the fire. Fluid begins to break through to the burning well. As the amount of fluid increases, the fire sputters, reignites, sputters again. And at last, it is out, permanently. The wellhead remains, stark evidence of the fire's intensity. Work crews begin to assess the damage. Water sprays continue to cool the platform. To seal the A2 well permanently, a wireline logging unit is rigged on a derrick barge. Then, a permanent bridge plug is run into the well bore. Though the subsea safety valves had held the nearby A1 well, a new wellhead has to be installed. At last, the arduous process of cleanup can begin. The field facilities are reconstructed. The kill operation has gone exactly as planned. The fire is out. The well is killed. No oil has spilled into the Gulf. 49 days have elapsed. At last, men and equipment can return to everyday routines and the business of producing oil. Today, operations are back to normal. Tankers once again are loading much-needed crude oil from the rich fields of Dubai.